comment or maybe.
Okay, you're live.
We're live.
You're live.
We're on.
Tanya was not here today. She's got, from what I understand, she has this credits going around one house.
Well, we saw her just a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay. I know.
I'll text her.
Okay.
You sound bad.
No, this is the feeling better. I had to go back to the doctor today. It just,
Anybody have any issues moving on to Carla? Or wait on Tanya?
I'm sorry, what?
no, I
Do
don't.
we have any issues on moving forward with Carla? Since Tanya's not up here right now.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
Carla, you good with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
She'd rather get out of here.
She needs to go to the doctor, poor lady. I did that twice. Today was the second time. He gave me a shot, steroids finally.
Okay, need a motion to review the proposed budget. Can I get a second?
Second.
We'll go ahead and open discussion.
What's this, what's your partner called, Carla?
Collector's office.
Let's find it here. There we are.
You need my glasses.
No, that's why we can run back down to my car.
The only question I had, I'm sure it's a pretty simple explanation. Did you move some funds over to your automated, to where you're gonna start pulling out of there?
Yes, because as I said, there, my goal was to take both of my deputies out of my automated fund. And since I can't do that monetarily, I took everything I could and moved it to my automated fund with the exception, of postage. Because when I turn over to the treasurer, all that postage that I collect goes back into county general. And the $4,700 for final settlement at the end of the year. And everything else I moved over to my automated fund to try to take some weight off that.
Who motioned and seconded that to talk about?
Wesley motion, Leslie seconded.
Thank you, sorry.
And before I did talk, had a meeting with Cheyenne to make sure there wasn't going to be enough money in my automated, in my automated fund to finish out next year. And she agreed there would not be enough money in that fund.
That was the only clarity question I had.
Okay,
Yes, so to fund both full-time employees over in that automation fund, it would slightly go over, her carryover and projected revenue. So it would wash her completely. So she wouldn't even be able to sustain it for this year. 27 would definitely be a no-go. So it's a tight call on that second employee over there in that automation fund. So to move it over to county general.
so that's why I moved everything I could over to the automation fund.
Is that why there's no current salary for the chief deputy collector? Or next year, or for this year, because that's coming out of your automation fund? It's right
No,
now.
the chief deputy collector, pardon me, I want coming out of county general 1,000.
Yeah,
And
starting next year, but right now she's coming out of your automation fund.
correct, this is all
Okay.
next year, yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is postage going up again? I mean, that's a large hike for your postage. I'm not trying to go line by line, but I just, like, there were some numbers that really jumped out at me.
Yes, it's up to 78 cents now.
Okay,
Last year with Didco, it was our first year using them. And I don't know if it was welcome to Didco mailing service or whatever. They only charged us 59 cents postage, which was an absolute bonus.
yeah,
I can't guarantee that this year, so that's why I bumped it up.
Also on the collector, she is one of the ones, just like on the clerk's fund last week, where it was being done by court order and we switched to that AJE, so that line item is going to look a little wonky this
Okay.
year. It will straighten out for 26, so that's why the numbers don't accurately reflect 100% because of the way it was being inputted.
And I did call Didco to see about postage this year, they had no answer.
I will say in my line of work, I've seen an increase on certified mail, pretty significant
Yes.
increase.
Not too close. I said, don't get too close.
And I'm trying not to go line item by line item on this, but I'm just trying to learn.
Yes, sir.
Tom, computer software support, you're requesting 18,312. Are we buying new software, or is it like a new support or a vendor, or?
No, that's Tax Pro that I've been with since 2023, January 2023. That's our monthly fee.
Gotcha, okay.
And then plus PRS, and we are not charged for anything to do with software at all. The only thing we're charged for is their time, that if we cannot balance something or figure something out, which it's not come to anything like that, and we have to have them go through the paperwork to find out where I messed up, I'm just saying, they do charge like $54 per hour, but we've never had that. But that's for Tax Pro and computer repair service, because we have a contract with them.
Thank you, I just want to make sure that I understood.
Yes, sir.
where did all those charges before come out of in that section through your phone, fax? Like, there hasn't been anything spent in 23, 24, 25, and now you're in the same right section. I'm in the same section you are, right, Tony? Is that section 3 where it says computer software?
Yes.
Everything that's in the automated fund, other for 26, everything that is in there with the exception of payroll, I moved it all over from county general.
Okay, so that was all coming out of county general
Yes, ma'am.
previously all those years, okay.
Well, since I've been in office, for the most of the time I've been in office, yes.
So we kind of swapped. So you're taking those and paying those out of your automation budget, and now we're taking the salary, and that's gonna come out of county general to
Yes.
balance it out, so she doesn't go.
Yeah,
over
just
line.
to
Okay,
balance it somewhat. It won't be 100%
Yeah.
balance, but
okay. Thank you for that clarification.
yes, ma'am.
And then I would like to note that she is going for a 3% increase on her too.
Any other discussion on the collector county general? Can I get a motion to approve as presented?
Motion.
May I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed. Now let's go ahead and, finish the review, of the collector's automation. Can I get a motion to review?
Motion.
May I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Can I get who, that's motion and second again, I'm so sorry.
My motion, my second.
Travis didn't say anything.
Oh, yeah. That took me a minute, yeah.
Always.
I don't have any other questions.
I don't either, she already answered it.
Okay.
I don't either.
Motion to approve? Motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
All right, we're done there, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mary, yes, your name.
No, we want you to stick around.
I'll feel better.
The party
Feel
hasn't
better.
started yet.
This party is over for the girl.
Didn't feel better.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And Tommy, since you're not feeling well, you want to go up next?
That's fine.
Get all the sicklies out of here.
Yeah, we'll. No, I know what it feels like to feel bad.
Oh,
I apologize, I totally forgot. I was, had to come up here for that and I ran home. Oh, yeah.
Court here's 9:30. I'll be at court all day.
Yes.
Thursday, I'll be back on here. Thursday afternoon.
All right, well, let's see here. County General Assessor, motion to review.
She's the first.
Cheyenne, thank you for helping me together.
Yes, of course. That's why I
Thank you, have a good evening.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Sorry. Who motioned, I'm so sorry.
Wesley?
This is why I don't take minutes, you guys.
Well, Wesley needs to just speak up a little bit louder.
I can holler.
Okay, you holler.
Let's go ahead and open it up for discussion.
So under the assessor tab, the only one that needs to be discussed is the county general assessor. She's got multiple different tabs. So the first tab, only the first one needs to be discussed. The other ones were at a 0% increase.
I do have the e-keyboard that went up.
Yeah, that's, with you, your assessors one, and then you got like a sub tab, which is the, development
Oh,
permit.
all the other ones.
And
Okay,
then-
sorry.
You're perfect. You're fine.
And we are staying within the 3% variance on salary, correct?
Yes.
I just want to make sure. It's the only question I have.
I don't have any questions.
Good, you good? All right. Let's go ahead and get a motion to approve.
Motion.
I like it.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. No opposed. All right, let's get a motion to review the equalization board.
Who's here for the equalization board?
Fine.
Oh, that is you too. I'm gonna ask you a really dumb question. What is this?
Oh, we need a motion in a second.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Can I get a motion?
I'll motion.
I'll second.
I thought I'd already asked that. All right, let's move into discussion.
What is the equalization board? I'm sorry.
So, no, the equalization board, is a board that the taxpayers can make an appointment to go to review my values. If they don't like my values that I have on their properties, then they take it to the EQ board. And then they state why that's too high or, never too low, but too high, too high or what their issue is. And then the EQ board will, make a decision on whether stay the same value, drop it, whatever they decide to do.
How many people are on this board?
5. And that's the only reason that it went up for next year. I just raised it $1,000. We are at the end of our reappraisal. I hope not to have any, appointments made, but you never know. And I have a feeling that, everyone's property values are gonna go through the roof. And there's gonna be a lot of people angry. But it is what it is. And then that'll come back down next year when we're not in, reappraisal year.
How often is reappraisal year?
We, the whole state now is on a 4-year cycle. I just ended a 5-year. They was on 3 and 5. And then the state put everyone, all 75 counties at 4-year. So I'm starting my 4-year in 27.
I will say, from being a past member, it can be crickets or it can be interesting.
Yeah.
On the short time frame I was
Yeah.
involved.
Let's hope for crickets. We only had one this year and she didn't show up, so she showed up in an hour later. But you never know, the values, these are just outrageous. People are paying way more than what places are worth.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's good for us that are already here because we're homesteaded. So, it can only go up 5% unless you're over 65 and it's frozen. But new people, feel bad for them.
So the history itself doesn't go back far enough, but and I know we haven't had a reappraisal year, obviously, but the last couple of years, you've been, and I'm assuming your budget has been the same, but you've been way below budget so far.
Yeah, we have. I keep it in there because we have to get new people resign from the board.
Okay.
Their terms end every 3 years for different people. So this year I had to send 2 to training. We've got 2 new ones.
Okay.
Last year we had 2. The year before we had 2. We don't use it sometimes and sometimes we do. Just depends on who's new and who we have to send to training.
Yeah, the year before it was Bob, it was me, it was Emily,
All were up to go.
that were all up to go.
Yeah, this year I had 3, but 2 went overnight and 1 just drove down. Because they have them in different spots throughout the county. If some's close enough, they can go in the morning, come back at night, and some's too far, they have to stay the night. So.
Well, I would say if the property taxes go up drastically, there'll be more to do in that. On the board.
Which is a good thing for county general.
Do we have any other discussion? Motion to approve.
Motion.
May I get a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome. Thank you. Sorry I was late and had to come in tired.
We completely understand.
So I will try not to get everybody sick and head out.
Hope you feel better.
Thank you.
All right, can I get a motion to review the law enforcement sales tax? Motion. May I get a second?
Second.
Discussion?
I would like to point out, if I can, based on what happens with the lease, that I talked to, risk management about the insurance and what it would go to. And so what I have here is without it. And then I have a number of 26,260 with it, and that's with not getting rid of any vehicles. I don't know where we'll be on that. I'm also waiting on other sundry insurance. I don't know if we've got those numbers yet.
I have no questions.
Any questions?
Okay, may I get a motion to approve the law enforcement sales tax? Motion. May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Next is law enforcement metro.
Make a motion.
I'm sorry, motion to review. I was trying to find the page.
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion.
Were the numbers for the proposed salary inverted, Jackie? Sure.
I couldn't hear.
Were the numbers inverted for the proposed salary because they're opposite of what they're listed as currently?
No, one of them has been working longer than the other, so they're actually correct.
The only
Okay.
individuals, you talking about the individual salaries? That's a mix of moving people. That's because, yeah, it's how long they've been there and who's in that spot.
Okay. Thank you.
Does the county still have the agreement with the city of Yellville?
Yes,
Okay,
they pay every bit of this.
Did they agree to this number?
Absolutely. Yeah.
The reason I didn't know you snuck in. I thought you were right at 5:30. I've been taking minutes for no reason. Oh, okay.
Here's my backup.
I was looking at projected revenue and it didn't look like there was enough to cover the budget. So I don't know if we need to get with the treasurer to adjust that.
I mean, nothing's changed.
Nothing's
Nothing's
changed.
changed on either side.
So, gosh, okay. It was kind of wild, because I don't have numbers off the top of my head, but it was not sustaining it.
I can't hear you.
It wasn't, the numbers were not breaking even. It looked like we were going to be proposing more than what Treasury was projecting in. But I thought it was like a contracted rate, so, if you wanna,
Well, no, they don't put money in there until we bill it.
that might
Yes,
be.
we have to. Yeah, this was discussed last year. I don't know if you remember that. It was like, you're not gonna have enough money.
Okay,
And we were like, we're gonna be okay.
okay, so,
When we bill them, they pay it.
okay, cool, good deal.
Just for my own knowledge, how often does that get billed?
Well, I send them financials every month. They deposit every month.
In the past, I'll tell y'all, when Sean was doing it, in the past, they put quite a bit of money ahead of time into the account. And the money got zipped out of there. And there wasn't money left to pay the city of Yellow's bills. And Sean Lane said that won't ever happen again. Cause it was like $60,000 that disappeared.
I think it was a year-end situation
So,
before us.
further discussion?
Not for me.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, next on the agenda is Law Enforcement Corps of Engineers. May I get a motion to review?
Motion.
May I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I handed out new ones on that one, because I don't believe the part-time versus full-time transposed correctly.
If then I have a question on that.
Okay.
Like, where-
There's a new sheet that
Got it.
corrects it.
Perfect.
I couldn't find
It was the section you couldn't find.
I was like, I know it's in here.
I've seen it.
This also is a budget that at the end of the year, that money that's left in there rolls to the next year. So whatever's left at the end of this year is going to go.
Did you bill the Corps of Engineers for that as well?
Yeah, when we're doing it, I bill it every month. And then that money that we have for fuel, we've left it in there so that we don't have to wait on payment when they work a whole month. So at some point, we'll move that over to 1,800 budget.
Okay.
Right now, we just let it.
So I just want to make sure I understand this. They're under contract to pay us $15,680 for the deputies patrolling.
Yes, and they patrol 3 parts,
Okay,
from mid-May until, first part of September.
okay.
They patrol on weekends in September.
That's the only question I have.
I don't have any questions.
All right, no other discussion, motion to approve. May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Law enforcement confidential buy. Excuse me, I jumped over something. We need to discuss vehicle equipment replacement fund. Motion to review. May I get a second?
Second.
Discussion?
And so it looks different.
Yeah. It took my eyes a minute to like adjust, like it wasn't the same. I was like, am I looking at the right stuff?
That's the import export version.
This is for the lease of the 6 vehicles that we have coming. And, we pay for part of the upfit on half of them. That's the reason it's at the cost that it is. And somewhere it'll be around the $60,000 a year after this one,
It's at 63,407.
63.4%.
And then if you guys, approve it, to go for inventory form, it will look like the other sheets. I'll have to get with the treasurer to get the fund number essentially activated. And then I'll input it into the system and get it to look like all the other budgets.
I'm trying to remember the contract time, and how many years was that?
4, I believe.
4? Okay, so essentially we're spreading the 22,000.
We're spreading the cost of the
Yeah,
vehicle
spread it
out
out.
4 years.
Okay.
Instead of paying, $60,000 for one right now, we're just covering.
All the questions I have. Any other discussion? Motion to approve,
Motion.
may I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, now let's go back to the confidential buy fund.
Can I mention something about vehicles before we totally abandon it?
Please.
The city of Rural Shoals has 2 vehicles that they're thinking of selling. They're 3 and 4 years old. If we can get the price down right on them to buy them outright, and it'd have to be right for us to buy them, but could we come back and maybe get a little money before the end of the year and buy 2 vehicles that are 3 years old that have got 30,000 miles on them? Would y'all be up for that if we could?
I think we have to have the numbers, like before we can say yes.
Well, he's supposed to be getting me the numbers. I mean, it's not gonna be $100,000. I'm just saying, if they're reasonable, I'd come back with you and I'd ask, but I wanted to get y'all's opinion before.
All you can do is ask, right?
All you can
All
do
you
is
can do is
ask.
ask.
Good enough. They've got a Ford Explorer up there and also a Ford Crown Vic that they're supposedly wanting rid of. And if they are, we may try to get them. It'd just be an extra vehicle.
Be spare vehicle, a spare vehicle.
Actually, it'd be one that we could put Danny Burkett in that he's driving the white one with blue lettering on it now that's got 170,000 miles on it. It's something to look a little bit further down the road with. I didn't mean to interrupt, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay.
I'm sorry, what did you say we were reviewing next?
I'm trying to find it.
It's
It's a confidential buy money, it's $10,000 that, we were asking for to set this up. And in the past, before we got here, we had I think the sheriff's office had an account for it. And we're hoping to get that reestablished so we can start working.
It's one of those weird.
Am I overlooking it or could be?
I don't see that in here.
So it's,
That's it. Oh my God. Oh my.
It's $10,000 for drug buy money, is what we're asking for, to put it into the account. But it's scrutinized by the auditors very heavy. I mean, it's not something that we can just go blow. So it's,
Right after stepping on me. What about y'all?
What is this
I need a
fund?
motion.
Motion to review,
Motion.
second. Discussion.
She found it. Thanks, Candace. What is this for? I'm sorry.
it's confidential buy money. It's to allow,
Of law enforcement.
it's to allow, give snitches money to
Oh,
go buy dope.
okay. I just following you now.
Typically, what we do is, because some of the officers maybe doing multiple buys and stuff, we don't get the money back right away. But once we file the warrants and we prosecute them, one of the things I ask for is the restitution to whichever agency put up the funds. And that's part of their sentence when it comes back through.
Okay.
So all funds aside, this is just cost of doing business.
You recoup this money back.
And like Brother Russo saying, you know, he usually adds it on to the court cost and the fines, but sometimes it's a long time getting paid back.
In a big narcotics investigation, it's not unusual for, even before we issue the arrest warrants, to be 2 or 3 years down the road, and another 2 to 3 years before we recoup that money. Just because the nature of using confidential informants and doing that, you don't want to burn your stitches because, as the saying goes, snitches get stitches.
Makes sense. Any other discussion?
Nope, I'm good.
It does not have a fund number yet.
All right, can I get a motion to approve? No. May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I'm sorry, who motion?
Wesley.
Wesley and who said?
Well, we both did at the same time,
You
so
gave it to Leslie, yes.
Okay.
it didn't matter to me either.
Okay, next on the agenda is county detention facility. May I get a motion to review? Motion. May I get a second?
Second.
Discussion.
You are fully staffed.
Huh?
You're fully staffed.
We almost. We have one.
You have one spot open,
Yeah.
okay.
That's good.
Yeah,
A few months ago, we
Yeah.
were very understaffed, so.
Yes.
It's very fluid around there.
Are we close to getting federal inmates?
Hey, I mean, no trouble. Federal? No, we didn't get a federal inmate.
Well, you can after February.
Just thought I'd ask.
No, we're not getting that federal.
Okay.
We can't afford it.
Sounds like a different headache too.
Yeah, that's a different animal that, I mean, they pay the facilities that house them more, but they also want you to have 2 transport officers transporting them back and forth to their court proceedings. And most generally, their court proceedings are in St. Louis, or Little Rock, Fort Smith, or Oklahoma City. But I did check into this, but it's.
I just thought I'd ask the question. Just out of
I'm glad
curiosity.
he did.
Yeah, I got it out of my system now.
What about state?
We still got some state.
Can you get more?
We're trying,
Yeah, we're trying.
Sorry.
Yeah.
we are trying.
As soon as they get
Yeah,
fully
we're
staffed,
trying.
yeah.
But you can't really depend on I've learned this. There's something that's called, what is it, PREA? No, yeah, PREA, that's coming out within the next couple of years. And in order to house state inmates, you're gonna have to start giving them classes on sexual abuse classes and how to avoid getting abused. And if you don't have this and don't have the plans in place to, yeah, you're right, to counsel these people, they're going to take your 309s, which are the outside workers, and the state inmates from you. And we'll just end up housing our own inmates. And
Who does teaching on that?
it came from the legislatures in Little Rock. And supposedly the entire nation, except with the exception of 2 states, are in compliance with it. And Arkansas, one of them that's not. But all they're trying to do is just do away with state or counties housing state inmates. And they're wanting to put them in their own facility. my opinion.
It's a little bit of a pain in the rear because under the it's PREA, Prison Rape Elimination Act. My wife was a correctional nurse down in Florida and they had that. And one of the things the prisoners like to do, if you make them mad, they go PREA and they have to immediately start an investigation, and the employee who's affected can't be in there until the investigation is completed. Now, most of those are pretty quick, but it causes more paperwork, more headaches and everything for the local jails. So it's coming. It's only a matter of time.
It's coming.
There's also an audit involved.
Yeah. And all it's real expensive to have done.
What's the other state other than Arkansas that's not compliant? Do you know? What's the other state, not including Arkansas, that's not in compliance?
Well, I was going to tell you, but I forgot.
I was just curious more than anything. At least we weren't the only ones, right?
Yeah, well, we're not told.
So how long is that gonna be before we have to do it?
I think
In
it's,
spring. I think
it's
spring.
next spring, I think.
We're getting compliant. We're working on that right
We're
now.
working on
We
getting
are going.
compliant. And, you know, if we can keep them, we're going to. But what's sad is, I mean, if they take their 309s, you know, 309s, we've got 4 of them. And they do the lawn mowing, the dishwashing and the cooking and the maintenance around the jail for us. And if we lose them, my lands. I mean, we're gonna have to hire somebody to do it. Yeah, we're gonna have to start doing it.
It's free labor.
And it really is, you know, and it's, but if they drop that bombshell on us, we can't afford it. We couldn't.
Is this to like, for lack of a better word, it's probably not the right word, but like rehab them, report, no, it has nothing to do with that.
It's prevent rape in prison or jail.
Trying to prevent. And if the truth be told, I'm quite certain that in the state penitentiaries, there's more rapes that take place there than in any county jail.
But they're just gonna pick on all
They're
county
just gonna
jails.
pick on us.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to chase that
no,
rabbit.
no,
You
no.
know, that's something for us to keep on the forefront.
Yeah, just keep that in the back of your mind.
Any other discussion?
No.
May I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, last but not least, law enforcement E911. Can I get a motion to review?
Motion.
May I get a second?
Second.
Discussion.
The 911 dispatchers we've got 9 of them. We've got 8 working right now. We've still got 1 opening. And, we had to go up a little bit in, the postage, and we actually got a monthly, had to rent a printer for in there, and that's a monthly bill.
And also, we're gonna have to, I don't know if it's countywide on all the, like, we're gonna start doing urine tests, drug testing. That's another thing we're gonna have to do that outside of the facility. That's one of the areas that I'm trying to kind of make room for. That postage was $100, like, that's just not enough, that's a coil and some, so just a few areas there.
And if they go up to 83 cents, like I heard the stamps are going up to here pretty quick, it's ridiculous.
Be cheaper to drive it wherever you need to deliver it to instead of mail it.
Now, refresh my memory. Isn't dispatch supporting, is it flipping in Bull Shoals, is that right?
Well, not yet, but hopefully,
No, we are doing them, yes.
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 They are not paying us.
They're not paying us?
No, they're not paying us yet, but hopefully we can get something worked out between Flippin and Bull Shoals and they'll start kicking in something.
Yeah,
We hadn't even discussed it with them yet.
I couldn't remember, but for some reason I thought that they were supposed to share like a cost of,
Well,
like a monthly cost.
they're supposed to, but it hadn't been done yet.
That's all I had.
Yeah, it would be definitely beneficial. Something could get worked out.
I can't hear.
Everybody says I speak quietly.
If you want me to hear you, you need to talk.
Like reaching out to the AAC and coming up with something, it would definitely be beneficial.
Well,
'Cause-
supposedly the AC was coming up in October, and, you know, they were sending their lawyers up, and they were gonna go around to the different cities and talk, but we hadn't heard anything back from them.
Oh, interesting, yeah, because now officially, dispatch is going to rely on county general a smidgen.
Yeah.
So,
It is, it's county general, but it sure is.
yeah, so if we could get something in place with those two cities, that would help greatly.
I personally think that Clifton needs to be paying for 2 dispatchers, and the city of Bull Shoals needs to be paying for 2. I mean, we dispatch for all of them, and they're the 2 biggest cities in the county. I said that out loud, and y'all heard it.
We had discussions about that earlier. I mean,
We did
years ago.
years ago, and then it kind of died on the vine, and it's coming back.
Well, it only makes sense, like, it only makes sense, like, if we're dispatching for
Absolutely.
them, then
They
you ought to pay. I mean, we have to pay.
That's exactly right.
What's the
We
difference?
do.
Yeah,
They like using our jail too.
But the burden shouldn't fall all on
Right.
us here to have to pay and support that as well. I agree.
Didn't they say since they was in the county needs to take care of it? Was that one of the arguments that
I didn't hear you.
they was in, it was their thought that since they was in the county, that they should use the county jail, they didn't want their own jail.
That's exactly right. You're right, yeah.
But there's very little that I can bill them for. I got to do one this year so far, that I could bill them for paper stay and medicine. It's not very often.
It's not often.
Did they pay them? Well, heck, okay, that's a start.
Just gotta find more things to bill for, apparently.
I'm trying.
Gotta be creative.
Every little bit.
Any further discussion? Motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Did you have anything for us tonight?
Yeah.
Before we move on from law enforcement,
Uh-huh.
so they do, there is a shortfall in their funding that takes it out of county general. So you will see that there is an account that's county general 8888. That will be discussed on Thursday. So now that we have, approved with no changes on law enforcement, I can get that shortfall figure, and that's what's gonna go in that 888 number. It's really, sorry, because that's pretty much like how we track that shortfall account. It's the inter-fund transfer account. So, right now it's sitting at a 0, because we weren't sure how the sheriff's department's budgets were gonna fall. So I will input numbers and get that fund rolling, so we can see how much the sheriff's actually going to need out of county general this year. So I should have that number for you by Thursday's meeting.
Thank you.
We're drained on county general. Everywhere we go, we have no income.
Is that all
So-
3 departments?
It will be all 3, yes.
I mean, y'all know that.
How's that sales tax?
I was supposed to be here Thursday and I showed up tonight.
Okay.
And the reason being is I now have to be in Fort Smith Thursday. And I won't be back in time for the meeting. So I was wondering if you all would be so inclined to take me up.
Yes.
I basically have two different budgets. One's county general, 1,000, 0416, and the other one is 3025-0416. I believe both of them should be under the one tab for the
Yes.
prosecutor's office. There is a justification letter in there that I'd like to explain, because my percentages are much higher than what the comptroller had. And there's some explanation that goes with that, because some of this was a result of budget considerations with the previous Quorum Court.
We make a motion to discuss.
Motion to discuss.
Motion.
Second.
It was a question. I was like, I don't know if we've done that yet.
Well, I was trying to find my right page. So are we covered?
My only question that I had was, I'm assuming out of that, out of the 1,000, you have the deputy prosecuting attorney paralegal. That's for two people.
Correct.
Okay, it's only listed as one. I was like, that's, salary's almost doubled, so.
So I actually wanted to suggest this tonight. So for payroll purposes and tracking purposes, while our program does allow multiple people in that one position, if you look at all of our other budgets, you see like for operator, like for road department, it's operator one, parentheses one. And then there's multiple like
2, 3, 4.
Just in all the funds, they're listed out. They each have their position number. It's easier to track than have multiple employees in that said one position. Cause like, as it reads, it looks like that one employee is making a lot of money.
I was like,
So-
wow, someone's getting a happy
Yeah,
raise
I-
over there. I want to come work for you.
I was thinking.
No, that is two employees. So
That is for two.
I suggest putting a second position with the same title in there for tracking purposes, and payroll, easement. Also, it can just put like a 1 behind it and a 2 behind it.
If you just did a 1 and 2, and I'll explain more about
Okay.
what's going to transpire with this, because I'm in a really weird position this year.
So if you guys are good with splitting that, so it reads more even.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be great.
We're gonna amend that to 2 positions.
Yes.
So what transpired last year is our existing paralegal went out on maternity leave, with child number 2. And there were some questions whether or not she would return. I couldn't get a clear-cut definitive answer. She left out on leave in February. By March, still didn't have anybody, so I came in for a budget amendment. And we went ahead and hired someone to take her place. And I say to take her place, when she went out on maternity leave, before she went out, she had used up all her sick and vacation time. So we weren't double paying, so to speak. But there was the possibility she'd come back, and if she did, we had to give her job back. And now we'd be paying for 2 people. In anticipation of that, because we knew we were going to be backlogged because the new person had to be trained and come up to speed. In June is when we were told, and that's when she was supposed to come back, that she wouldn't be coming back. So Darla continued to stay in that spot, and we were anticipating having 2 people to try to get through the backlog. And I held off as long as possible to hire a second person, because not knowing what was going to transpire. Because the only thing I could promise at the time, based upon my discussions with the previous Quorum Court, is that this was just going to be a temporary thing until the end of the year. Since then, my right hand, my victim witness coordinator, has decided to jump into politics. And she's now running for circuit clerk in the court. And literally, she's my right hand. So My problem is now, Darla's gonna have to potentially be trained depending on what happens with Ruby. And we may have a better idea in another month when filing begins. If it looks like Ruby is going to be leaving, then Darla's gonna have to be trained for her position. The new girl, Patience, is already being trained for the district court. That's what Darla's been doing, but we've been trying to train Patience. Patience is, I probably won't have her fully trained until January to February of next year. We were fortunate because Darla knew the district court stuff, because prior to coming to us, she had been the district court clerk for Bull Schultz. So she knew the paperwork, she knew how district court operated. So the transition was relatively easy, but she's still learning because the prosecutor's office obviously operates different. With that being said, I can't begin training Darla for a Ruby spot unless and until I know for sure that Ruby's leaving. We'll know that, even though the election won't be till November, we should know that for sure by March, because that's when the primary is going to be over. That will give Ruby the opportunity, A, to train Darla to take her spot, as we come up with a succession plan. Now, I calculated a 74% increase in my budget. Now, the comptroller figured it much less. The reason I figured 74% is I went off my original budgeted numbers for just one person in last year's budget. Now, I was given the budget amendment for the two. I didn't operate off that because I believe in transparency. Because regardless of what else happens, if Ruby gets elected and becomes a circuit clerk, I'll be back to 2 people. We can run our office on the 2 people. So this is a temporary measure, 1 year only, for a succession plan. And as you can see, an office my size with, there's just, for lack of a better word, 3 of us. I lose 1 person, we get jammed up. The second part of that is we've got a tremendous backlog on felony cases. I've probably got 12 to 15. Dawn thinks it's as high as 24, but I've probably got 12 to 15 child sex rape cases waiting for trial. Judge Bailey is taking over half the criminal docket in January. Judge Putman is going to do Boone and Newton counties. Judge Bailey is going to do Baxter and Marion. This past year, I had 9 trial weeks. That's it. And jury trials are a way to move cases, because when bad guys hear some of the sentences that Marion County juries hand down, they decide that my plea offer is more than generous. Okay? We haven't had that. So Judge Bailey, knowing that we have this backlog and try to clear things up, next year, I'm going to go from 9 to 19 jury trial weeks. So basically, we're going to have, between Baxter and Marion, whoever's got the most cases is going to go. There's a possibility we could be having a jury trial every other week in Marion County, at least for the first part of the year. Now, that is going to put more of a strain on not only my office, it's going to put a strain on the sheriff's office, the clerk of the court, okay? The other thing is we're also going to have a circuit court day, regular, what I'll call a docket day, law day, twice a month. So instead of transporting people once a month to circuit court, the sheriff's office, the clerk, myself, we're going to be in court twice a month, in addition to the jury trials. So beginning the first year, it's going to look like 1 week we have court, 1 week we have jury trials. I don't know, it's going to be fast paced, but the child rape cases, the sex cases, anytime there's cases involving minor victims, they're supposed to take a priority on the docket, and they haven't been. The other thing is anybody who's incarcerated is supposed to take a, priority on the docket. We haven't been able to meet those standards because we haven't had the personnel, judges, and everything in place. That's the reason why the judges have decided to do this move, So if just looking at the raw numbers, beginning in January, it's gonna be crazy. I'm hoping that by the end of the first or second quarter, we'll be somewhat caught up and that'll relieve some of the stress. But till then, as you can see, I'm gonna have basically 2 new people working in the office with Ruby that we're trying to train in the middle of all this. So it's gonna be interesting to say the least. So that's one of the reasons why you see this dramatic increase, because we're between the devil and the deep blue sea.
But this is only temporary.
I said, I always do my best to be totally transparent and honest that this was going to just be 1 year. And I anticipate, a lot of times say, well, we'll grant this result, but next year you come back, you're going to want 3. I can't guarantee what's going to happen, crime increases, whatever. But just based upon the numbers, I'm only doing this request for 1 year and hoping to go back to 2 people because we'll be all caught up. And then we should just be back to normal numbers. But in the short term, you can see from our court numbers and our trial numbers, this is going to be abnormal for this next year. And it's because of the backlog. And some of that backlog is carried over from COVID. We still have cases percolating through from 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. And just 2 weeks ago, we had 2 child sex crime trials. One was a 23 case, one was a 24 case, and I still got plenty of others waiting to go. So. And no, this is not unusual in Marion County. We have this across the district, we have it across southern Missouri, we have this nationwide. It's just a reflection of society today.
Does it kind of ebb and flow at all? Or are you seeing more of a?
Believe it or not, one of the things that we're seeing a big increase in is child pornography. And the reason being is because of the resources that have been put in place by state and federal government, we're getting more and more tips from folks like Google and other providers. And so far, most of that has been coming through the state police. The sheriff's department has had some, but the state police has got the dedicated officers and stuff to handle that. But just here recently, we had a child pornography case. We arrested the son, and then just a couple months later, the sheriff's department did an investigation and arrested dad for child rape.
They were both in jail at the same time.
So I hate to say it, but we'll see rape, and then that drops off, and murder's picked up. That
Somebody
drops
else
off.
takes his spot.
We see birth increase.
Yeah.
And then, we've got a serious drug problem. And as you heard Sheriff say, we're starting to start working on that because it all relates. Our assaults, our burglaries, our property crimes, everything revolves around that drug problem. And a lot of people say, you're not going to solve drugs. Well, we start working on some of that. And the Protect Arkansas Act goes fully into effect in January. So even like now, if we get a repeat offender that has used a firearm the second time, the enhancement goes up. It becomes a Class B felony, punishable by 5 to 20 years in prison, and it's now 100%. There's no parole. So those things are kicking in as we speak. And as a lot of you are aware, most of your drug crimes, they only serve 1/6 of their sentence and they get out. So on some of these repeat offenders, I've started filing more and more habitual offender charges. The sheriff's department, of course, that has resulted in an increase in operations and dispatch. They have to print all the criminal histories. I've got to go through those. And then I have to get the records to charge them as a habitual. And we've been doing a lot more of that this past year. And I think it's beginning to have a little bit of an impact on some of our quote frequent flyers.
Probably gonna take some time before that, you see that decline though.
Yeah.
People that have had prior histories, like before this takes effect, those you can't hold to that standard in
I can only, on some of them, I can only do for the charges that occur after the implementation of the
Okay.
act.
Yeah.
Okay? So and I'll give you a good example. The son we arrested for pornography, he's under the new rules, and he's gonna be looking at 80 to 100% of his time. Dad, on the rape charges, on the charges prior to the implementation of the act, he's only gonna have to serve 70%. If I charge him with some of it after the act, it's gonna be 100%. And I know that's crazy, but that's the way we have to deal with it.
Better than nothing, I guess. Just give a sixth of the sentence.
Any other discussion?
No.
All right, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Can I get a motion to adjourn unless we've got anything else?
Oh,
Anything else
here's
we
another
want to talk about?
We've got 2 funds.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Who motioned to approve that?
Lee and Shouldn't.
So now, on the second budget,
Here, let me go ahead and,
Oh, sorry.
do a motion to review.
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Discussion?
on this, to try to shift some of the burden this past year, county general, one of the things that the previous Quorum Court wanted us to do was to shift expenses to our special funds. So one of the things you'll see on some of our sheets is that we didn't have some of these expenses coming out of victim witness before. Last year was the first year. We tried it. The problem is you'll see the significant drain is put on that special fund because of the amount of money coming in. One of the things I anticipate that you're going to see is we just had a major change in the law, and Judge Carney and I are working on this. But for budget purposes, we're not going to really worry about it right now. In the Administration and Justice Fund, we do an ordinance every year to divvy up the percentages. So there's a prosecutor's fund, victim witness fund, and one of the things we try to do to make it easier, from the prosecutor's office, we combine that, and out of that current fund, we get approximately 72-73%. 1% we cut back on the percentages, 1% goes to the intoxilizer machine, 1% went to the county law library. The public defender was getting like 13 to 15%, but one of the things that was supposed to be funded was a jail fund, and the jail hadn't been getting that for years and years. So one of the things that we did is we broke the percentages down and dropped those on the law library and on the intoxilizer to 1% to give more money to the jail, all right? That was great when we did that last year, but the legislature, in their infinite wisdom, have taken away some of the funding for the district court. And instead, they've taken the district court funding and they've plugged it into the administration of justice. Now, they are giving some more money, but we haven't figured all that out yet. So what we're going to have to do in the upcoming budget year is we're going to have to divvy up money for the district court as well. What we're hoping in looking at the budget numbers is that the current funding levels, not percentage, but funding levels money-wise, will not change for the sheriff's office, my office, intoxilizer, all that has to do. We'll keep the funding levels the same, but we'll change the percentages so that the amount of money that the district court's going to get shouldn't change, hopefully. The other thing is, though, and this is something that we may have to look at from a county perspective, because this gets into some pretty complex funding, is looking at the revenue of how much district court brings in versus how much is going back to district court to fund it. Because typically, a lot of that funding goes directly into county general, and it doesn't get translated back to the funding of the district court. I probably shouldn't say this, but district court's kind of a cash cow. Okay, but as we're looking at the full budget numbers involving this may be something that we want to take some of that money that's coming through district court, going to the general fund, use some of that to fund back to district court so we could increase the percentages to the jail. I know there's a lot there, and it's, I mean, I make it sound simple, but there's a lot of calculations that are gonna have to go into those percentages and stuff to make sure that all of the operations I just talked about are fully funded. And thank you to the legislature for that, because they just changed the law. They didn't give us guidance or input on how to properly make that work. They're leaving it up to each county to decide that.
So the district court brings in enough money to self-fund it plus give money to county general?
Yes. I want to say district court probably brings in between, and I'm just talking right off the top of my head, 350 to 500,000 a year.
That's if everybody pays your fines.
Which the collection agent has been doing a good job. Which, by the way,
That's true.
is the sheriff.
Don't pass go unless you pay your $200.
So you'll see in the budget, there's a decrease. But the reason that there's a decrease is we're shifting some of those expenses back to county general.
Any other discussion? Motion to approve.
Motion.
May I get a second? All in favor? Any other business?
I have a question, just really quick, on that, on the prosecuting attorney's first one, is that the motion to approve, is that to approve it as amended with the position divided up into two?
Yes, that would be.
Yes.
Mhm.
So Thursday, we have all the judges department. It kind of sounds worse than it is. I sent out an email earlier today, striking out the ones that don't need to be discussed, because they decreased or stayed the same. And then I'll get that interfund, transfer numbers to you as well. And I think that's it from my standpoint. We still have not gotten the insurance numbers yet, but as soon as we do.
I hope none of you have any major, you or your families have any major plans with the week of Thanksgiving.
Why you say that?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are jury trials, and what we've got on tap are murder, rape, and assault. So we're gonna be sending out probably 350 to 500 jury notices here pretty quick, and we're gonna be summoning in a jury for that week, and that's what we've got on tap.
Where do I need to send my letter that I usually send?
I'll send that to the sheriff's department. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, first.
I have been very fortunate throughout the years what I do for a living that I can send a letter and get out of it.
They said, my dad got, to church.
Oh, I did.
Earlier. He can't hear, and I'm like, no, it does not.